Carnivore diet for inflammation and joint pain. What to expect.
I'm a pastor, an entrepreneur, a world traveler, and a martial artist. But most importantly, I'm a devoted husband and dad with an amazing family. And the older I get, the more I realize the importance of being healthy so that I can be all that I can and should for my family. I haven't always been healthy though. In fact, I've struggled with my weight for a lot of my life. But in recent years, I found some great success in my weight loss and fitness journey living a lower carbohydrate lifestyle, particularly that of the keto and carnivore variety. Follow me on my journey as I continue to explore and share the benefits of living the low-carb lifestyle.
All right, friends, if you deal with joint pain, stiffness, inflammation, or perhaps you're just feeling beat up all the time, especially as a busy parent or professional, then this video is for you. A lot of people turn to the carnivore diet hoping that it'll reduce inflammation, but they don't really know what's normal, what takes time, and what to watch out for. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to expect when you're doing carnivore for inflammation and for joint pain. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the confusing, and the realistic timeline. And this is something that's important to me because I've been dealing with arthritis for decades. And here's the truth. Carnivore doesn't magically heal everything overnight, but for many people, it removes the biggest drivers of inflammation. And that's where the changes really start to begin. So let's go ahead and break it down. First off, why is inflammation so common today? Well, most chronic inflammation comes from things like processed foods, sugar and refined carbs, seed oils, food sensitivities, and also chronic stress. Now, the beauty is carnivore can actually remove almost all of these common inflammatory triggers all at once. And that's why many people notice changes that they weren't even expecting. So what do people commonly notice first? The early changes is in the first 2 weeks may include things like less joint stiffness, also reduced bloating, less swelling, and also easier movement. Now keep in mind that this isn't fat loss. It's often reduced inflammation and water retention. So let's talk about a realistic timeline for joint and inflammation changes. Everyone is different, but a good common timeline will kind of look like this. Week 1 and 2, your inflammation will start to calm down. Weeks 3 and 6, your joint pain will improve and your recovery will feel easier. And then sometime over the next couple to 3 months, you'll have deeper changes as your body adapts. And keep in mind, this isn't going to be instant. Consistency does absolutely matter here. Now let's talk about why electrolytes matter for your joints. The truth is, low electrolytes can feel like joint pain. Everything from muscle cramps to stiffness, achy movement. Yeah, these are all real items, right? And so the fix here is to salt your food generously and make sure that you hydrate very, very well. Now many people will confuse electrolyte issues and they'll say that carnivore isn't working, but they're wrong. Now here's another common mistake, is eating too lean. Remember that fat is anti-inflammatory for many people on carnivore, right? And so if you're eating too lean, then that will give you things like poor recovery, and it'll give you things like achy joints and low energy. So the better choices here to make would be things like ribeye and fat-heavy foods. 80-20 ground beef, for instance, even bacon and eggs and butter. All of these things are good fats that support hormone balance and joint comfort. Now let's talk briefly about training and recovery on carnivore. All right, if you like to work out, good for you. But if you're inflamed, you need to keep in mind that your body needs recovery, not punishment. It's not one of those things where you need to push yourself harder. The tips here I'd give you are to lift lighter at first, make sure you get in a little bit more cardio, sleep more, and reduce your high intensity workouts, at least temporarily, until your diet can do its work. Remember that when things may feel worse temporarily, they are just temporary, right? So some people will experience things like temporary aches, also adaptation discomfort, as in you're uncomfortable while you're going through the adaptation phase. And then you might even find some old injuries that will flare up briefly. Okay, I've had this as well. And this can happen during inflammation recalibration. It usually passes with things like good food and enough of it, solid electrolytes, and plenty of rest. Now, who tends to see the best results here? I find that carnivore tends to help most people when inflammation is driven by things like food sensitivities and allergies, and then also just sugar and highly processed foods. You also need to understand that autoimmune style reactions can contribute here. Now, it's not a guarantee. Obviously, everyone is different, but it can be a powerful elimination approach. So wrapping this up, you need to understand that carnivore doesn't treat symptoms, right? It removes the inputs that are causing your inflammation. And inflammation takes its toll in different ways. When the noise is gone, then the body has a chance to calm down. If this helped you, my friends, make sure you hit like and subscribe and comment the word inflammation, all right? I'll see you in the next video. Jason here with the Low Carb Lifestyle. Talk to you later. Take care.